all the way over.
Oh my God, they got the goalpost.
The team was extremely talented. I mean, very, very talented ball players. And they're very fit, they're in good shape. The coaching staff have done a very nice job with that. And I think what happened was, technically we had the talent, and tactically it just wasn't happening yet, and it hadn't gelled.
During the course of the Big West season, I think we knew we were better than every team we were playing. And it was kind of disappointing, the losses we had.
For the first half of the season, we struggled. And games we should have won fairly easily, we really struggled. And games certainly we should not have lost, we lost.
About 2 games before the league title match was, I think, our turning point where the guys started to rally together and kind of realized like we need to win the last 3 games of the year. If we didn't win the Big West Conference, we weren't going to even advance the NCAA tournament.
Tim called everybody in and he said that that was going to be your senior night, so seniors, you can play this last game, and then he's going to go with some young guys and get ready for the next year. And so I think it was at that point that it really started to set in, at least for the older guys, that we were wasting away a season. We went down to Cal Poly, and pretty much from then on it was kind of a snowball effect. We got better and better each game, tougher to play against, and there was one point there where we just knew nothing was going to stop us.
We had never come back from being behind, which is not a sign of a resilient team. And sure enough, on that first playoff game, we got scored on at the beginning of the second half and fell behind 1-0. My expectation was that our season was going to end right there. We found a way to get a tying goal, and then within 5 minutes later, we got the go-ahead goal. And I really felt like with that game and that moment, that second half, it kind of dumped a lot of the demons that we had over the first 12, 13 games. And I think that was the moment that we actually started to believe that, we could actually make a run here.
That sent us on the road to play the number 2 seed SMU, and it was a difficult game, but there was something about that team that, we were not going to be stopped. Scored the first goal, they came back, scored another one, then scored another one. It was a very, very good game.
We ended up winning pretty comfortably. Even at that point, I don't think we thought, oh great, we had a good upset, but we didn't expect that we were going to make a run to the College Cup.
Later on down the road, my dad had told me that after we had won that game, he had already booked his tickets to the Final Four. 13,000 fans show up for that game. Tyler Roseland, who's playing center mid, scored the first goal, and he was running back, and he called that he was going to score a hat trick. So 2 goals later, sure enough, he had done it, and it was actually pretty remarkable, because nobody does that. Nobody scores their first goal and goes, oh, I'm going to go get 2 more.
We flew from Santa Barbara, had to connect through Denver. They had that major ice storm going on in St. Louis, so we had to spend the night, I think that Thursday night at the Denver airport. Our flight got canceled. So we were pretty nervous whether we were even going to get out there.
Half of our boosters were stuck, the ESPN news crew couldn't even get in, and so it was kind of all this drama building up whether we were going to play this game or not. And then they ended up pushing our game back, so we ended up playing on Saturday.
Where it definitely felt like Wake Forest maybe had a little bit more of the quality team. I think our players believed, hey, we got them where we want them now. This was their game to win, they didn't get it done. And our players dealt with the pressure well.
Kyle Rainish had his best game of the year, our goalkeeper, and we kind of just did what it took to get through that game.
2 overtimes later and penalty kicks, we won. That was probably the toughest game, I think, in the whole run, just because, in my opinion, Wake Forest was the best team we had played that year. wind chill. It was like 12 degrees, so it was freezing cold and a little absurd to have two California teams playing in the snow. That along with the TV timeouts, you know, you never really had a good chance to warm up. You'd get warmed up and then you'd cool down, you'd get warmed up, then you'd cool down again.
You know, UCLA, we knew kind of was just going to feel like they were just going to walk all over us because, you know, they had rested an extra 12 hours and had the easier game, so to speak. They beat UVA 4-0 in the semifinal.
We didn't have much time to prepare at all. But what I did know was, you know, what worked and what didn't work against UCLA, a game that we had played probably 2 months earlier.
We were clearly the dominant team, and I mean, there was not even any question who was the best team on the field.
I think we won the national championship game in the first 15 minutes because of the way we approached it and got after them, and Nick Pereira got ourselves a goal early, and we could have gotten 2 or 3. So UCLA was fighting kind of from behind the whole game.
And you could see the looks on the UCLA players' faces when we scored an early goal, like this isn't supposed to be happening. We're not supposed to be losing to Santa Barbara.
And we're up 2-0, and they scored 2-1. In the last 5 minutes, it was a free-for-all. The referee swallowed the whistle, the ball's going everywhere. It's just absolute chaos. I mean, everyone's running around. Everyone is up and screaming, jumping in anticipation this could be it.
With like 30 seconds left, I remember Tino taking a ball down to the corner, you know, and they kind of closed him down, and there was 10 seconds left, and he kind of lifted the ball up, started juggling, and at that point, it kind of sunk in that we had just won.
I remember seeing Eric Avila run over to steal the trophy before they could even do the presentation. I think the clock probably hit 0, and then 2 seconds later, the trophy was in Avi's hands. After that, I think we were just so delirious and cheering. It's all really kind of a blur.
It's one of those things that you kind of dream about, and so you know the clock ticks down, and then you know everyone starts running around celebrating. And I don't think it hits you until later on. You get back to the hotel and you kind of just sit and thinking, you know, like, what did we just do?
Neil Jones, who was a player when I was a student, was now a coach, came up to me, gave me a high five, and he opens up his cell phone to show me something and shows me this picture on his phone. And I'm like, what is that? I can't even make out what it is. And it's a picture of a soccer goal on a beach in the ocean. And I don't even put the 2 and 2 together. I'm thinking, what am I looking at? He's like, the students. They broke into the stadium. They stole the goal. And I think it was that moment where my wife and I and our other friends and fans that were out there looked at each other, and it really kind of hit us what a big deal it was back at home.
I think when you start getting the phone calls from friends and the family members, that's when you start realizing what actually happened, and you know that you'd made history for UCSB.
And I think we now look back on that 2004 team, not so much as the team that didn't get it done, but the team that kind of got the ball rolling for 2006 to win it all.
You know, the guys that came through before me, Neil Jones, you know, Dan Kennedy, Drew McCarthy, you know, these guys are the guys who really took it to the next level and made things happen for us. The players have put it on their shoulders. You know, each new crop of players has done well with it, and you know, every year you shoot for a national championship. Obviously, some years it's gonna, you know, come true, and it came true for us in 2006.
It was an unbelievable experience and a great group to coach. I give a lot of credit to our captains and our seniors that year, because they not only turned the season around, but you know, found a way to literally will the team to win.
The amount of work that's put in, the blood, sweat, and tears, all the agony, all the suffering, everything basically becomes sort of a distant memory. On the other hand, when you look back, everything's earned. And this championship that UCSB won, the men's soccer team, it was earned. Every little bit of it was earned. Coaches, players, it was earned and well-deserved.